World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America last globalists and the deep state.
President Biden met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during this unannounced trip.
One of the reasons I was the only president in generations who didn't start a war is that I was the only president who rejected the catastrophic advice of many of Washington's generals.
Obviously, the biggest issue in the world right now and the most important issue on the floor of the Senate this week is assistance for Ukraine.
Teetering on the brink of World War III. And a lot of people don't see it, but I see it, and I've been right about a lot of things. They all say Trump's been right about everything.
Угроза нарастала, причем с каждым днем поступающим.
In Poland this morning, President Biden meets with leaders of Eastern NATO allies at the end of his three-day trip to bolster support for Ukraine.
I am the president who delivers peace, and it's peace through strength. You have two N-words, neither of which should ever be mentioned. I said that once. I said, oh, what a terrible thing to say. No. You have two N-words. You know what the one is, but the other is the nuclear word. Not supposed to ever be mentioned. Ever, ever, ever. It's mentioned every single day now.
Nice. Manhood Hour. 888-7753-773. Let me just say this to the men, 18 and over. And maybe some guys, like, they leave home a little earlier than that. You are living an abnormal life if you're living at home and you're a male at 18 and over. You're living an abnormal life and you're never going to grow. You only grow when you go out and deal with the issues of life. You should not hide behind mama's skirt tail, under mama's skirt tail, hiding from the issues in life. So don't let your mother convince you of that, your grandmama, or anyone. Get out and deal with life. And the key to dealing with life is not resenting what you have to deal with. Don't have any opinion about it. Don't call it good or bad. Just deal with it. Overcome it. So you're never going to grow up. You're never going to develop into manhood. You're going to always be a beta living with mama. And when mama says you, oh, you can save money that way. No, you're not supposed to be trying to save money that way. You get out and you get to a place, you get a job, and if you need more money, let's say you're unable to save because your apartment, your food and everything costs more than the one job can afford, get a second job. And then you'll be able to save. You really, really will. And save by putting 10% away of your money. Every time you get paid, put 10% away. Every time you get $1, put 10% away and just leave it there. And it's only to be touched for investment purposes. Only for that reason. And then with the other money, you can pay your rent, buy your food, put gas in your car, ride the train, whatever you do. You'll live off that, and you'll have money put away, and opportunities will come. Without a doubt, they will come, and you'll have the money to invest in it. It'll be there. All right? You cannot fail that way. And number 3, never, ever, 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 but never, under any circumstance, move into a woman's place, her apartment, her house. Don't follow her to Florida for a job or anything. You must be the leader. And if she's unwilling to follow you, dump her. Don't put up with it. If she is unwilling to follow you, dump her. Be done with it, because it's never going to work. The order will not work unless the woman is willing to follow you. The moment she says, no, I'm not willing to follow you, goodbye, nice meeting you. Never, ever, 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 but never, ever, 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 but never get involved with an older woman. a woman who's been married, who has children, or just older than you. It's a mama and son relationship, and she will destroy you because you will be weak. Ain't no way around it. And she would hate that weakness, and destroy you. Men were created to lead women, not to follow them. When you follow the woman, you're going right into hell. And an older woman is very cunning. Younger women are too, but at least you're older than them. And if you happen to luck out and overcome, you'll be able to lead them. Every time you get involved with an older woman or listen to a woman, you're going to fail. You should date. If you want to date them, but be you. Don't try to put on a front. Don't try to pretend you're this or that. Be you and just treat them in the same way you would treat any other human being. They are not special. Women are not special. They're just a female human being built in the image of man. The woman came from the man came from God. The man is created in the image of God, and the woman is created in the image of man. So you got to get out there and live your life. Buy a house when you can. Save your money, investment, and I would highly recommend the best investment is property. It's property. You own a little piece of land or a house, there's so many things you can do with it. You can refinance and buy another one. You can make it bigger and rent it out. There's so many things you can do with it. And I know that we have a screwed up government now, and they're trying to make land buying difficult, but this will pass, and you'll own a piece of land. It will pass. And so, but until you can do that, get out, men, and start growing up. And then don't ever, but never, 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 ever, 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 but never see yourself as a victim. I don't care what color you are. You are not a victim. No one is superior to you. No one is less than you. Everybody have their own stuff they're trying to overcome. Well, most people are not trying to overcome it, but you should. So you're not a victim. That's a lie. It's a straight out lie. It's just like the idea of racism and all the isms, all lies. It's all lies. And the people from the old school know that. They went into the isms. And I believe that black woman that was on Tucker last night, a black doctor, female doctor, older woman, she said that we got to get away from the ism. There was no isms when we were growing up. You have a choice, men. And one last thing. Since the manhood, I'll throw that in there. Any man that is emotional, you're a woman. It's abnormal for men to be angry and emotional. Anger is emotion. Feeling good, feeling bad, all anger. You are a female. The anger of a man is that of a woman. It came from your mama or your grandmama, and it's not normal for men to be that way. How are you going to lead if you're an emotional person? It's not going to work. So here's what I recommend. Go and forgive your mamas and grandmamas. Get away from them. Don't move down the road from them. Move away. I moved from Alabama to Indiana, from Indiana to California, way away at 18. Because I was taught that growing up, and it was perfect love. And I've not looked back. It has not been easy, because at one time I was totally blind, but things worked out anyway. Even when I knew I was wrong about things, but did not know how to overcome it, things were still working out. They will work out, guys. But you cannot be a victim. Don't see it that way. Don't think of it that way. You're not that. And no one is better or less than you, so never compare yourself to anyone. Money-wise, any kind of way. Just be you. Be you. Be a living being, and you'll be fine. You'll make it. You'll be fine. And don't think of it as making it or not making it. Just be and let life happen. It's time out for men being victims. It's time out for men taking women advice. You're never going to get it right listening to a woman. I don't care how many degrees, if she's a talk show host, TV host, no matter what kind of little fake title she has, counselor, whatever they call themselves, you will suffer every time you listen to her. Ain't no way around it. Ask Adam about it. He'll tell you. It will not work. It's not supposed to work. It can't work. And I don't care what the woman tell you, she was made to follow. She was not created to lead. It doesn't work. And I don't care how many women they try to use in the Bible, act like they make up fake stories about the women in the Bible. Oh, it'll be like Esther, whatever her name. Like, what the? It's all made up. It's all lies. All right? And ladies, accept your role in life and be proud, or not proud, but be happy, at peace, at being a lady and not in competition with the man. You can never compete with a man. They have to lower the standards, and that's not competing. Men, it's time to grow up. You got to take control of your own life. And it's going to be amazing when you do it. Become an individual. You already know the truth. I counseled with a guy that lived in another state yesterday, a young guy. And about a month ago, I guess, give or take, I had counseled with him. He was angry, out of it. Told him to go and forgive. He did. He started doing the silent prayer. And yesterday, you could see the light on in him. Everything changed. He can now see. He couldn't believe it. He was like, what the? It's in you. You already know the truth. You don't need some dummy telling you about the truth. It's already inside of you. Look within. And don't let your mama or anybody hold you back. You don't owe your mama anything. You don't owe her one dime. Your mama did not bring you in this world. God brought you in this world. But her ego want to take credit so she can control you. That's only, it's just making you feel guilty and making you feel obligated. And then now you're obligated to her out of guilt, not out of love. And she doesn't care that you feel guilty. All she can get what she wants. It's time to grow up, guys. Okay, life is tough. And it's only tough because you can't see how to deal with it. Life is not tough when you see what's going on. It's not tough when you see what's going on. All right, that's to all men. And one last word to the blacks. What's wrong with the blacks? One last word to the blacks. Y'all need to get over the anger so you can get over the blackness and feeling like victims and blaming on slavery. Slavery has nothing to do with your lack of life. It has everything to do with the hatred of your mothers and the yearning for the fathers. Everything to do with that. Nothing to do with anything exteriorly. Everything is within. And the blackness is being used for destruction. And you don't have to be a part of it. And they just do it out front, and you don't have sense enough to see it. Because you're angry. Drop the anger. The blacks are angry. And not at racism, which doesn't exist, or white supremacy, which doesn't exist. It's that nature, abnormal nature that you were recreated in the image of your mama. And now you feel like mama feel. That's not your feeling. It's not your fears. It's mama fears. Her fear, her anger, her doubt. You become like what you hate. And so you got to get off the plantation of the Democratic Party by getting off the plantation of anger in your imagination. Joe Biden said that if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. Remember he said that? And the blacks still voted for him. He still voted for him. And now they're trying to say Joe Biden is going to be running again. And his is a perfect example of his wife not even loving him. Women don't have love to give. Mama don't have love to give. Grandma don't have love. Your wife, your girlfriend, your wife, your fiance don't have love to give. They receive love. They only have hate until they overcome. This woman, Jill, that's married to Joe Biden, is about herself and no one else. And it doesn't matter that it appears that Joe Biden has no clue where he's been, where he's going, or where he is. This is from the AP. Jill Biden says President Biden is ready to run again in 2024. Watch this.
Is there any reason for any of us to think that he is not running again? We've heard him say
Who's
several
that evil
times
woman?
that it is his
Are you
intention
not
to run.
believing this, Darlene? I mean, how many times does he have to say it until you believe it?
So then go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, he says he's not done. He's not finished what he started. He was elected because people wanted steady leadership. And I think they saw that in Joe, and they saw his character, they saw his integrity. I mean, he's done so much, and Darlene, he's just not done.
Okay. So is all that's left at this point is just to figure out a time and place for the announcement?
Pretty much.
See, that's an evil woman. She can care two hoops and a holler about Joe Biden. It's about her. And they can use Joe. I don't even think he knows he's the president. He's like, what? Oh, thank you for reminding. Oh, every morning you have to remind her he's the president. But Jill is about Jill. Can you imagine? This man is, I think he's 80 now or something. And you can tell something going on. I don't know what it is, but something, the lights are on, but Joy ain't home. 80 years old, according to Wikipedia. And this woman still is saying, you know what, honey, come sit down. Y'all can't use my husband anymore. I got all the glory already that I need from him. But no, she's dragging him in the ground for herself. Own ego gratification. And that's what mamas and grandmamas and girlfriends and wives do to husbands, do to men. Because the women know you're weak. They know you're stupid. And they take advantage of your stupidity. And they'll turn to any form that you want them to or need to in order to control you. But if the light was shining on them from you, it couldn't happen. The Blaze is reporting that Joe Biden made a bizarre comment on Monday, speaking about the Divine Nine. I had never heard of the Divine Nines until my producer Chris told me about this. Sean told me about this morning. Divine Nine. Have you ever heard of that? The 9 black fraternities and sororities. Ain't nothing divine about that. Believe me. He was accused of suggesting that all white people are stupid and promoting self-hatred. According to the Blaze, watch this.
I know real
From
power
C-SPAN.
when I see it. The Divine Nine. We're honored to have presidents, all the presidents here tonight. And I want to thank him. And by the way, you know, I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid. I know where the power is.
If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He's pandering to the blacks for the vote, and they're laughing and applauding, thinking that he loved them because they're blind and cannot see. And they fell for the lie that they're divine. What does divine mean? Godly? Oh, thank you. They fell for the lie. If you ain't vote for me, you're black. You ain't black. And they applauded. And they laughed. And now they're still stuck on the plantation of the Democratic Party in their divinely lifestyle. What a sad way to live. Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all need to grow up, man. This is ridiculous now. You're not going to grow up being your mama's boyfriend or your mama's husband. You need to get away from mama, far away from mama. Even in the scriptures said when you get married, you should move far away, take your family and move far away from home. Otherwise, your marriage ain't going to work. Your girlfriend mama ain't going to let it work. One white man speak up, and have you noticed they try to destroy him? And so I was wondering, how can a white person speak up and not be destroyed? Because over the years, we've seen it happen over and over again. They're like the Taliban. They cut your head off, and then they hang it up so you can see it and put fear in you. If you're a white man and you speak up, this is what's going to happen to you. And they put it everywhere so you would know it, and that would put fear in other white people to speak up. So I wondered, how can white people speak up about the blacks or anything and not be afraid of losing something? There's one perfect way. You got to overcome your false identity with your things, people, places, and things. You overcome that, you have no problems. Because there will be nothing to lose because you don't identify with anything or anyone. But as long as you identify with thinking that you're important and your reputation, which doesn't mean a thing, or your material things, the evil people will continue to control you in that way. They will keep you in a state of fear, and you'll be on the run from the devil. The devil running from the devil. You got to be in the world, but not of it. You can overcome it, white folks, by overcoming anger. You got to forgive mama too. You got to forgive your enemy. Love your enemy by forgiving your enemy, not resenting your enemy. They can't help it. Satan is their daddy as well. They cannot help it. Forgive them and they cannot control you. Everything begins inside of you, white folks, like it does with every other human being. Most of you will never look there and find it, but a few will. Otherwise, they will, in your own country, you will not be able to disagree, speak up, and they'll destroy you if you try it. This is from CBS. An update on Scott Adams. Scott spoke the truth, and now they're trying to take his things away from him, calling him names and things like that. If you don't identify with things, people, places, things, they can't take something away from you that you don't identify with. It don't mean, okay, you can have it. Bye. It's still the truth. You will have love. So this is from CBS. Penguin said it is dropping plans to publish Adams' upcoming book. Scott Adams said he is likely to lose 80% of his income due to the cancellations. So they're not going to publish his book now. And he did nothing wrong, even if he had done something wrong. The man has a right and a freedom to agree and disagree. And just because somebody don't like the disagreement, you're going to lose your book publishing thing? And that makes sense. But they're scared too. That's why they're dropping it. Because they don't want to be protested by the blacks. They're just so scared. But the publisher is not going to do his book. And as a result, he's losing 80% of his income. Adam doubled down on his comments, asserted that many people agree with him, and they do. They're just not going to say it out loud, but many do. Some are saying it, though. He provided some, so that first stuff was from CBS. Adam provided some context to his comment in an interview with Hotep Jesus. I had never heard of it that I remember. Hotep Jesus. This is from Hotep Jesus. Watch this.
I discovered that the price of free speech is really high, and there are only a few people willing to pay it. So I decided to pay it so that I could extend the conversation to something that everybody needs to hear. I'm opposed to any form of discrimination against individuals. You know, not your neighbor, not the person applying for a job, you know, marry who you want, date who you want, friends who you want. So here's what I want to say. In a world in which the narrative is that white people are the basis of the problem of not only past discrimination, but perpetuating ongoing systemic racism, there's only one outcome of that, which is white people are going to want to get away from that.
Nice. I hope he doesn't ever apologize for what he said.